Hello! Welcome to this tutorial. Today we are going to talk about the past simple tense. Let's get started. We use the past simple when we talk about an action which happened at a definite time in the past. Now this tense emphasizes that the action is finished. Note that we can also use this tense to talk about how someone felt about something. Let's have a look at the dialogue over here. When was your wedding? It was 3 years ago. I was beyond happy to marry the love of my life. Now in this sentence, when was your wedding? The past simple is used to ask a question about a past event. And in this sentence, it was 3 years ago. It is used to describe exactly when this event took place. And in this sentence, I was beyond happy to marry the love of my life. The past simple is used to talk about how that person felt. And with infinitives, all we have to do is add ed to create the past simple tense. Have a look at the examples below. He worked part-time as a waiter. We liked our stay at the hotel. Note that all persons have the same form. Now when a word ends with a consonant plus y, we keep the consonant and turn the y into IED when we want to create the past simple. Have a look at the following words. Cry, cried. Try, tried. And when a word ends with a vowel and a consonant, we keep the vowel, double the consonant, and add ed, as in the example below. Stop, stopped. Regret, regretted. And make sure to use the past tense form of the irregular verbs to make sentences in the past simple. For example, be turns into was or were. Eat, ate. Drink, drank. Now the past tense form of the verb be depends on the person of the subject. Have a look at the tables below. I was, we were. You were, you were. He, she, or it was. They were. Now let's have a look at the use of did or did not plus verb. Now let's start off with a positive sentence. His sister lived in Sutton, London. The negative form of this sentence would be his sister did not live in Sutton, she lived in Harrow. The question form of the sentence would be did his sister live in Sutton? Where did his sister live in London? Note that we can use yesterday, last night, not a long time ago, 2 years ago, etc. to create the past simple tense. Have a look at the examples below. Shakespeare died in 1616. Ryan did not go to work yesterday. He got sick. When did you move to Spain? I moved there not a long time ago. Note that we use did or did not with the verb to have. Have a look at the sentence below. I didn't have enough money to buy a new computer. Note how we used didn't with the verb have. But we do not use did with the verb to be, was, or were. Rather, we use it as follow. Why were you so angry? I wasn't angry. This was my usual self. Now let's review and practice a bit. Read the following sentence and add ed to the bare infinitive of the regular verb to make sentences in the past simple. Julie to pass her exam this March. Julie passed her exam this March. Remember that we use contracted forms to make negative sentences. I'll, am, etc. Julie not to pass her exam this March. Julie didn't pass her exam this March. Note that we use past tense form of the irregular verbs to make sentences in the past simple. Read the following sentence and change the irregular verb into the past simple. Jake to eat tons of fast food as a kid. Jake ate tons of fast food as a kid. Also, remember that we use contracted forms to make negative sentences. Read the following sentence and turn it into a negative sentence. Jake not to eat tons of fast food as a kid. Jake didn't eat tons of fast food as a kid. Now read the following sentences and make the correct form. Make sure to pay attention to spelling. I forgot when was the last time to cry. I forgot when was the last time I cried. Pete to stay at home last night. Pete stayed at home last night. My mom to drop her phone in the pool. My mom dropped her phone in the pool. Now read the following sentence and use the correct form of the verb to be in the past tense. I to be hungry and wanted to buy some Italian food, but my friends not to be eager to join me. I was hungry and wanted to buy some Italian food, but my friends were not eager to join me. Look at the sentence below and find the time markers. It felt like the party was just last night, but actually it was 3 weeks ago. Last night? 3 weeks ago. Here is a short story using the past simple tense. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. Mom, do you have a minute? Sure, kid. What's up? When was the last time you went to a beauty salon? Well, I don't remember. Maybe it was a year ago. And when was the last time you had a night out with Dad? I'm not sure. It was definitely a long time ago. And what did you do last night? I stayed at home with your dad. We fell asleep watching some boring movie on TV. I bought 2 tickets to Costa Rica. You need a vacation, Mom. Now time for you to practice on your own. Write the correct form of the following sentences. A. Nick's mother not want to. A. Nick's mother not to want to stay at home the whole day, so she to sign up for Spanish classes. B. I to run every day when I to be a teen, but I don't know that anymore. C. Where you or to be last night. I to try calling you, but you not to pick up the phone. There are 2 mistakes in each sentences below. Find those mistakes and correct them. A. Kim goed on a date with David the last night, but didn't call him afterwards. B. How you did get this job? There were so many people ready to kill for it. C. We didn't invited Anne to the party. No one really likes her after she bad-mouthed Kristen. D. Yesterday, I driven to Houston to see Dan. We went to high school together. And now, answer the following questions. A. Where did you grow up? B. What did you do last night? C. When was the last time you went on a trip? Now, let's check your answers. Nick's mother didn't want to stay at home the whole day, so she signed up for Spanish classes. I ran every day when I was a teen, but I don't do that anymore. Where were you last night? I tried calling you, but you didn't pick up the phone. Kim went on a date with David last night, but didn't call him afterwards. How did you get this job? There were so many people ready to kill for it. We didn't invite Anne to the party. No one really likes her after she bad-mouthed Kristen. Yesterday, I drove to Houston to see Dan. We went to high school together. I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. I went clubbing with my friends last night. I went on a trip to Germany last year. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Hello! Welcome to this tutorial. Today, we are going to talk about the present simple tense. Let's get started. Now, we use the present simple when we talk about things in general. Note that we use this tense to say that something happens all the time, happens repeatedly, and is true in general. Have a look at the example over here. Jane works as a barista. Her shift begins at 7 a.m. Now, in the first sentence, Jane works as a barista is the general truth. And in this sentence, her shift begins at 7 a.m. It shows that this is something that happens repeatedly, all the time. Now, when we use the first person, the verb does not change. But when we use the third person, he, she, or it, we add s to the verb. Have a look at the example below. I like apples, but my father likes grapes. Father is in the third person, so we add s to the verb like. And over here, I is in the first person, so we do not change the verb like. But when the verb ends in o, s, ch, sh, or x, we add es to the verb. For example, in this sentence we have, my sister watches TV in the evening and my brother does his homework. Note that we added es to the verb that ends in o and es to the verb that ends in ch. Remember that such verbs as to be and to have are irregular. Have a look at the table below. I am, we are, you are, you are, he, she, it, is, they are. I have, we have, you have, you have. He, she, it has, they have. Note the difference between be and am. Have a look at the differences below. I have got a car. I have a car. Now let's have a look at the use of do not and does not plus verb. Have a look at the examples below. Let's start off with a positive sentence. He gets up at 6 o'clock every morning. The negative form of this sentence would be, he does not get up at 6 o'clock every morning. He gets up at 7. And the question form, does he get up at 6 o'clock every morning? Another question form, when does he get up? Now we can add time markers such as always, often, usually, sometimes, rarely, never, every day, etc. to the present simple tense. Let's have a look at the examples below. I usually cook at home, but my friends always eat at the local cafe. Kim is always late for classes. Note that we place these time markers right before the verb. Cook, usually cook. Always eat. Always late. Now let's review and practice a bit. Remember that in the present simple, we use the bare infinitive of the verb. And in the third person singular, we add s to the verb. Now read the following sentence and provide the appropriate form of the following verbs in the present simple. Agatha to hate when her little brothers to leave toys in the living room. Agatha hates when her little brothers leave toys in the living room. Also, remember that we add es in the third person singular if the verb ends in o, s, ch, sh, and x. Read the following sentence and provide the appropriate form of the following verbs in the present simple. Noah to wash the dishes and his wife to cook dinner. Noah washes the dishes and his wife cooks dinner. Note that such verbs as to be and to have are irregular. Have a look at the following sentence and again provide the appropriate form of the following verbs in the present simple. My mom's family to be quite big. She to have 4 brothers and 3 sisters. My mom's family is quite big. She has 4 brothers and 3 sisters. Also note that we form the negative forms of sentences by using do not or does not. Read the following sentence and use the contracted forms of the verbs. James not to like reading. I not to get how it is possible. James doesn't like reading. I don't get how it is possible. Now let's practice the use of time markers. Read the following sentences and put the time markers in their appropriate place. People in Britain drink tea every day. The sun rises in the east. Always. She is tired after work. Usually. People in Britain drink tea every day. The sun always rises in the east. She is usually tired after work. Here is a short story using the present simple tense. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. Hello? What's your name? Oh, hi. My name's Sarah. And yours? I'm Alex. Nice to meet you, Sarah. Nice to meet you too. So, where do you come from? I come from Germany. And where are you from? I'm from the UK. Oh, I have a lot of friends from the UK. You probably have a great sense of humor. I'm not sure about that. I don't always get our jokes. You're an exception then. Take that as a compliment. Now time for you to practice the use of the present simple tense on your own. Read the following sentences and underline the correct phrase. A. Excuse me, do you know or does you know the time? B. My sister always is or is always in a hurry. C. What time you go or do you go to bed on Fridays? Now read the following sentences and write the correct answer. A. Kelly to stay or often at home on Saturdays to work on her projects. B. Her brother not to use the internet, he to like everything the old-fashioned way. C. When you or to get home, we need to talk. D. You or to know, Lucy. She to be my friend from college. And now, answer the following questions. A. What do you do for a living? B. What are your hobbies? C. What does your typical Sunday look like? Now let's check your answers. Excuse me, do you know the time? My sister is always in a hurry. What time do you go to bed on Fridays? Kelly often stays at home on Saturdays to work on her projects. Her brother doesn't use the internet. He likes everything the old-fashioned way. When do you get home? We need to talk. Do you know Lucy? She is my friend from college. I work as a teacher. I teach second grade. I like painting and reading. I sometimes go hiking. I wake up really late, have a big breakfast, and watch TV all day. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Hello, welcome to this tutorial. Today, we are going to talk about subject-verb agreement. Let's get started. The subject-verb agreement is the correspondence of a verb with its subject in person, first, second, or third, and number, singular or plural. Have a look at the example over here. Liz is an accountant and she has a typical 8-to-5 job. Note that the verb is corresponds with the subject Liz, which is in the first person and singular. And the verb has corresponds with the pronoun she, which is in the third person and singular. Remember that subjects and verbs must agree with one another in person, first, second, or third. Have a look at the table below and note the subject-verb agreement rules of the verb to be in the present tense. In the first person, singular, I am. Plural, we are. Second person, singular, you are. Plural, you are. Third person, singular, he, she, it is. Plural, they are. Have a look at the example over here. I am a student. First person. My brother is a pupil. Third person, brother. And you are a teacher. Second person, you are. Note that subjects and verbs must agree with one another in number, singular or plural. Thus, if a subject is singular, its verb must also be singular. And if a subject is plural, its verb must also be plural. Have a look at the example below. She cooks dinner and her brothers make breakfast. The verb make corresponds with the noun brothers, which is plural. And the verb cooks corresponds with she, which is singular. And when the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by the conjunction and, make sure to use a plural verb. For example, brothers and sisters don't often get along. Brothers and sisters are connected by the conjunction and. And so we use the plural form of the verb do and get. don't, get. Note that the words each one, either, neither, everyone, everybody, anyone, anybody, nobody, somebody, someone, and no one are singular. And so you must use a singular verb. Have a look at the following examples. Each of these suggestions is interesting. Someone was standing at the door. Also note that when two or more singular nouns or pronouns are connected by or nor, make sure to use a singular verb. Have a look at the example below. Either your mother or dad needs to contact me. Remember that when a compound subject contains both a singular and a plural noun or pronoun joined by or nor, the verb should agree with the part of the subject that is closer to the verb. And that is also called the rule of proximity. Have a look at the examples below. The teacher or the students write homework on the board. Note how the teacher is singular, but the students is plural. And so the verb write needs to be in its plural form. Second example, the students or the teacher writes homework on the board. Again, note how the teacher is in its singular form and students is in a plural form. The verb write is in its singular form because the subject that is closer to the verb is singular. Also remember that in sentences beginning with there is or there are, the subject follows the verb, and that is also called the inverted subject. As there is not the subject, the verb agrees with what follows. For instance, in this example, we have there is a book on the table. There is not the subject, book is. So the verb must agree with what is followed. Book. There are books on the table. Again, are agrees with the subject books, which is in its plural form. Also note that the subject-verb agreement with words that indicate portion. For example, a lot, a majority, some, all. Now, if the noun after of is singular, make sure to use a singular verb. And if it is plural, use a plural verb. Have a look at the following examples. There is a lot of fuss around his arrival. The verb is must agree with the subject fuss, which is in its singular form. And in this sentence, there are a lot of people in the room. The subject people is in its plural form, and so the verb needs to be in its plural form as well. Also note that we use a singular verb with distance, periods of time, sums of money, etc. when considered as a unit. Have a look at the following examples. $10 is a high price to pay for socks. Note that $10 in this sentence is considered as a unit. And in this sentence, $10, in other words, dollar bills were scattered on the floor. $10 is not considered as a unit. Also remember that collective nouns are words that imply more than one person but are considered singular, and take a singular verb. For example, family, group, team, committee, class, etc. Have a look at the sentence over here. My family is very big. Note that the word family is a collective noun. It implies more than one person but is considered singular. Now let's review and practice a bit. Remember that we use a plural verb when the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by and. Read the following sentence and fill in the blank using the appropriate form of the verb. John and Carol to work together at the coffee shop. John and Carol work together at the coffee shop. Also note that the words each one, either, neither, everyone, everybody, anyone, anybody, nobody, somebody, someone, and no one are singular and require a singular verb. Now have a look at the following sentence and fill in the blank using the appropriate form of the verb. No one to want to work 16 hours a day. No one wants to work 16 hours a day. Remember that when a compound subject contains both a singular and a plural noun or pronoun joined by or nor, the verb should agree with the part of the subject that is closer to the verb, which is also known as the rule of proximity. Now have a look at the following sentences and fill in the blanks using the appropriate form of the verbs. My sister or my parents to give me a ride home. My sister or my parents give me a ride home. My parents or my sister to give me a ride home. My parents or my sister gives me a ride home. Note the subject-verb agreement with words that indicate portions. For example, a lot, majority, some, all. If the noun after of is singular, use a singular verb. And if the noun after of is plural, make sure you use a plural verb. Now have a look at the following sentence and fill in the blank using the appropriate form of the verb. There to be a lot of people waiting in line. There are a lot of people waiting in line. Also note that collective nouns are words that imply more than one person but are considered singular and take a singular verb. For example, family, group, team, committee, class, etc. Have a look at the sentence below and fill in the blank using the appropriate form of the verb. The team to lose a lot of games this year. The team has lost a lot of games this year. Here is a short story using the correct subject-verb agreement. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. Now, after I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. There are a lot of people outside. Do you know what's going on? These people are protesting. Maybe you've heard the recent news that some company wants to build a huge factory right over there? and surely no one is happy about that. But I didn't see any media around. I'm sure that some reporters will come in a bit. It's not like there are a couple of people, so it's difficult to ignore this. Now, time for you to practice on your own. Read the following sentences and underline the correct word. A. The aim of the research was or were to find life of Mars. B. The group meets every other week. C. My cousins and my brother don't or doesn't know how to cook. D. Nobody masters a language without making mistakes. E. Neither Sarah nor I am or are going to college this year. F. I, as well as my friends, am or are excited about the upcoming trip to Vegas. G. The jury has or have finally reached a decision. H. 10 kilometers is or are too far to walk. I. This or these jeans is or are too revealing. J. A car and a bike is or are my means of transportation. Now let's check your answers. The aim of the research was to find life of Mars. The group meets every other week. My cousins and my brother don't know how to cook. Nobody masters a language without making mistakes. Neither Sarah nor I am going to college this year. I, as well as my friends, am excited about the upcoming trip to Vegas. The jury has finally reached a decision. 10 kilometers is too far to walk. These jeans are too revealing. A car and a bike are my means of transportation. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Hello! Welcome to this tutorial. Today, we are going to talk about the future simple tense. Let's get started. We can refer to the future by using will, be going to, or by using present tenses. Note that we use will when we want to talk generally about future beliefs, opinions, hopes, and predictions. Have a look at the example over here. I promise myself that once I start college, I will do all my assignments on time. Note that will in this sentence is used to talk about future hopes. Now let's have a look at the use of will plus verb, the negative will not or won't plus verb. Let's start with the positive sentence. Sam will probably move to Canada next year. Future prediction. Negative sentence would be Sam won't move to Canada next year. He'll move to the US. In the question form, will Sam move to Canada next year? Another question, Where will Sam move to? Let's have a look at time markers and probability markers. Time markers: tomorrow, next month, in a day, etc. Probability markers: perhaps, probably, definitely, etc. Have a look at the following examples. Perhaps it'll snow tomorrow. I'll definitely finish my essay next month. Now make sure you pay attention to the word order. Positive sentence: we'll probably do it tomorrow. Negative: we probably won't do it tomorrow. Note that some speakers use shall to refer to the future in formal situations with I and we. However, nowadays, shall is used for suggestions only. Have a look at the example over here. Shall I go or shall we leave together? In this sentence, shall is used for suggestion. Now let's review the future simple tense and practice a bit. Remember that we use will plus verb to make sentences in the future simple. Note that we form questions by inverting the subject and will, and the negative forms by using will not. Transform the following sentence into the future simple. They not to go to the bar tomorrow. They will not go to the bar tomorrow. What you to do next week? I don't know. I to meet up probably with some friends. What will you do next week? I don't know. I will probably meet up with some friends. Now try to practice using the contracted forms of will and will not, which is I'll and won't. Read the following sentence and practice. I to call you later, okay? I'll call you later, okay? I not to do anything without your advice. I won't do anything without your advice. Now read the following sentences and find the time or probability marker. He'll finish his book in a week or two. Week or two. You probably won't listen to me, but I'll try to explain it. Probably. Remember that nowadays we use shall for suggestions. Rewrite the following sentences using shall for suggestion. We to go. It's getting late. Shall we go? It's getting late. Here is a short story using the future simple tense. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. Mike, what are your plans for tonight? I don't know really. I'll probably play some video games after work. And what will you do tomorrow? Well, I definitely won't go out with my friends tomorrow. And what will you do next week? I'll most certainly start learning another language. Mike, How do you have an answer for everything? It's quite simple. I don't plan anything. Things will happen on their own. Now it's time for you to practice on your own. Read the following sentences and find time markers. A. Perhaps you'll make the right decision. Time will tell. B. Max will certainly come later tonight. C. Susan will try to go there next month, but it probably won't happen. Now read the following sentences and write the correct form. A. Why can't you come over? To let you sleep at my place. B. Not to do it unless you prove Jane wrong. C. We to try to make it work. We to let you know. D. We or to go to the restaurant tonight. To pay for the meal. And now, answer the following questions. A. What will you do tomorrow? B. Where will you stay during your summer vacation? C. Will robots take over the planet? Now let's check your answers. Perhaps you'll make the right decision. Time will tell. Max will certainly come later tonight. Susan will try to go there next month, but it probably won't happen. Why can't you come over? I'll let you sleep at my place. I won't do it unless you prove Jane wrong. We'll try to make it work. We'll let you know. Shall we go to the restaurant tonight? I'll pay for the meal. Sample answers. I'll probably stay at home and sleep the whole day. I'll stay at my friend's place. Robots won't take over the planet. I don't think that robots will take over the planet. Thank you for watching this tutorial.